Today's a little bit different on a topic that we're doing. We're talking about why people come out, why people decide to homestead, why to get away from the city. Um, we left the city because there was a lack of community, a sense of community. There was um, having to be dependent on utilities and being dependent on grocery stores and not knowing what we're feeding our kids, not knowing what we're feeding ourselves, um, and just the everyday, you know, hustle that goes on in the city. You get you get tired of hearing sirens all the time. You get tired of not having the space to be able to go out and spend time with the family without people right on top of you. Um, I've got friends back in the city who are some of my best friends, but um, you get out here and it's a whole different type of situation. I've got family and friends who don't understand why we come out here to do what we do. I've got friends and family who do understand. And along the journey of what we're doing, we've met some new friends um, who do what we do and who understand why we do things that we do. Out here, out here, I can raise my livestock. I can raise food. I can grow a garden. There's just so many things out here we can do that we don't have to be dependent on other people. And if something ever happens, a bad winter storm or whatever, and the store's closed, you got no access to food. Out here, we can raise our own food, we can grow our own food, and if something happens, it's already here. We have it. Um, we're not relying on city power. If the power goes out, we don't have anything. Out here, we supply our own power, either by solar power or by generator. We're getting in the process of having a well put in that's a manual well, so we can pump the water. Whether I use a little 12-volt battery and a little pump to pump the water out, or I use a hand pump, it's all self-sustaining, and we can do it ourselves. We don't have to rely on anybody else or any other thing to get what we need. Um, there's also a greater sense of community out here where you've got people who live the same way you do. Um, we don't leave the city to get away from, um, to get away from the government or get away from other people or whatever. Out here, you still have to have people in your life to help. Unless you're a millionaire and you have thousands of millions of dollars to go buy all the fancy equipment and buy everything and stock everything that you need, you got to have some kind of help. There's no way physically possible for you to do everything on your own on your homestead. Um, we had the opportunity yesterday. A buddy of mine, Josh from Essential Mountain Homesteading, called and said, "Hey, I've got a down tree. It's good for firewood. Do you guys want to come out, give us a hand, cut up some wood, get it split, and bring some back?" Yesterday we went out and we were able to get a truckload of wood, which helps us out. Um, our main source of heat is wood heat. We have propane for backup, but our main source is wood, and that's what we rely on. So me and my family went out, uh, got together with Josh, and met a new guy named Darren. We all went over to his place, and um, we got some wood cut, split. I was able to bring some back, and there was some left there for them, so they had wood as well. Um, a sense of community and having people who understand what you do and why you do it is always a big help. In the city, everybody's programmed to run the same way. You get up, you go to work, you come home, you spend time with your family, you go to bed, you get up and you do it all over again. Out here, no one day is the same. You're always doing something. You have other stuff you have to do, whether it be take care of livestock, whether it be taking care of your garden, stacking and cutting wood, uh, keeping um, critters away from the homestead, maintaining whatever, harvesting your own food. Uh, there's just so many different things out here that it's never the same day to day. Um, but because of what we do, you have to have some people that you can rely on that can give you a hand to do some of the stuff around the homestead. Um, it's not something you wake up one morning and say, "Hey, I'm going off grid. I'm gonna go live out in the woods in the middle of nowhere." Um, it took us 3 years to plan for coming out here, and we still have a lot to learn. You're not going to learn everything at one time. Every day you learn something new, whether it be by trial and error, or by studying, or having a neighbor come over and say, "Hey, this is an easier way to do something." So there's always something going on out here, and you've just got to take it day by day and go from there. Um, we're just getting out here. The downside to coming out when we did was winter's getting ready to set in, so we're kind of limited as to what we can do either by temperature. Right now we have no snow on the ground, but a week and a half ago we had 2 feet of snow on the ground. So there's always something that's going to limit you or whatever that you have to know how to work around, how to adapt, and improvise with what you're doing. Um, as time goes, yeah, things will get easier out here. We'll learn more. Things will be a little more situated to our liking. But in the meantime, we just plug along, and we're always willing to take some advice or figure out a way to do something and then keep going. Uh, there's always a need to have somebody around. This isn't, uh, we're not living in a mountain man situation where we're on top of a mountain somewhere 5 hours from nobody. Um, we can get to town pretty quickly. If we have to go back to the city, we're an hour away. Um, we have a small town near us. Uh, if we have to go in and pick up a couple supplies or whatever on an emergency basis, we have a small town that's about 20 minutes from us, and we can do what we need to do. But um, self sustainability is what our goal is. No matter what we do, we're always going to have to go and pick up some kind of supplies. You got to have chains for your chainsaw, gas for your chainsaw. Uh, you may have to supplement some kind of food or grain or something of the sort. But if you can function and produce 90% of what you need off of your land, then you're sitting in a lot better situation than what you are in the city. So, um, you know, with that being said, I'm not knocking anybody that lives in the city. Um, I've lived in the city most of my life, but I finally got to a point where I was done with the city, and I needed a change of pace and a different view on things. Um, so, it's not for everybody to come out here and start homesteading or to move out to live off the land. Um, but for us, it was an option. We spent 3 years planning for it, doing the research, and like I said, we still have stuff we have to learn. There's still stuff that we have to figure out by trial and error, and eventually we'll get to where it'll be a lot easier out here. It won't be an average mundane same thing every day because out here everything changes. Um, but there's always that sense of accomplishment when you're able to come out and do something like this and be able to succeed and take care of your family the way you want to. So, but for now, uh, we have all this wood that's got to get stacked and moved in. Some of it moved inside and some of it put under cover so it doesn't get wet. But we look forward to seeing you guys soon. I'm sorry about the videos being a little sparse lately. We just had a lot going on, and I had some issues with my camera and stuff like that. So, but we should start getting videos back out again. You know, if there's a topic you guys want to see, feel free to shoot me a message and let me know what you guys would like to see and what we're doing. Any suggestions or comments or anything like that, please feel free to send those as well. We look forward to reading comments from you guys and trying to work with everybody. And, you know, if we can teach somebody something along the way, that's even better. So you guys have a good day, and we'll show you what all we got accomplished, and we'll go from there. So have a great day, stay warm, stay safe, and we'll see you guys soon. Here we're using a 37-ton splitter. We had another one on site that was a 22-ton, which worked pretty good for the smaller stuff, but for these larger rounds, this 37-ton was really the way to go. We don't have one personally on our homestead, but after using this one, it's definitely going to be an investment that we make. I probably will just run with the 37-ton like we're using here instead of getting a smaller one, just for the sake of having the extra power should we end up with some larger rounds.